Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Nick here, back with a new video. So today I'm actually going to be talking about Bitcoin Cash. I promised you guys a video and I am delivering. So this one I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth on because my price target for Bitcoin Cash is 10K this bull run. Now, of course, yeah, it could go higher, but that is my exit strategy personally. Now, why do I think that it's going to go to 10K? I mean, honestly, just looking at recent market patterns from its recent all-time high of almost 5K, just kind of comparing that to where we are going to go this year. We could top out anywhere between 15 to 20K personally on Bitcoin Cash, but I'm being safe and honestly conservative by exiting on 10K itself. Now, of course, I might average out a little bit before that, just in case, we do get rejected at 9,000 something before reaching 10K. So that's not going to be my major sell-off point, but I am going to have an exit strategy up until that point. Now, I really wanted to just kind of talk about this quoted tweet from Kim.com. You guys probably know him. If you guys don't, he's just basically, the CEO behind Mediafire and Mega and stuff. He got into a lot of legal problems with that, but it's just kind of giving you guys a background on him. But for the most part, I want to talk about this quoted tweet where it's this. It's funny. This girl who basically said, "I just sent somebody $25 of Bitcoin and paid $27 in fees." And then, of course, you guys could read the second part. I'm going to keep it kind of clean. But it's funny because, it is the truth. We are seeing a lot of, problems with Bitcoin, and especially in the recent, times where we are pretty much marching into a green society where, we don't want, mining farms that are taking up as much energy as full cities and, small countries. It's crazy to me how we've come to this point where Bitcoin is actually taking up this much energy. But nonetheless, I could talk about Bitcoin's main issues all day long. I mean, like for an example, the ability to scale effectively, or the high cost fees, or even the overall energy usage it utilizes, or even just the fact that, right now, currently, it's on the cusp of being banned in a lot of, countries that, like even China released a war on Bitcoin. It was back in February now. It was pretty much a FUD article, but overall, it's not impossible to actually see that happening because, we are marching into a green age now. And I just really want to just dive in here. So why Bitcoin Cash? You guys could join, So, nonetheless, why Bitcoin Cash? Now here you could kind of learn more about it. An imminent transformation cryptocurrency stand to transform the way businesses and individuals exchange value. Demand for fast, borderless, cheap transactions grows. So does the value of currency powering it. And then here we got some, kind of quotes from Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is what I started working on in 2010, a store of value and means of exchange. And there's a whole bunch of other quotes here, obviously. You could actually kind of read them. Bitcoin Cash is a civilization-changing technology which will dramatically increase human freedom and prosperity. I told you Bitcoin is great from the very beginning. Did you get in or did you wait too long? Now I'm telling you to get involved in Bitcoin Cash too. It has the biggest upside potential and is currently undervalued. If we want to base a marketing strategy off of CoinMarketCap, then I guess we need to focus on decentralized, low fees, cash use case, because basically everything else in the top 10 besides Bitcoin Cash does not have these yet. Bitcoin Cash does. Using crypto for a while, excited about the possibilities that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins brought. Right now, I'm very excited about Bitcoin Cash with instant money transfers and super low fees. Amazing user experience, great for everyday use, Bitcoin Cash. The developers of Bitcoin Cash understood that there can't be such thing as money that is not useful in exchange. The technology and user experience that first made Bitcoin popular is called Bitcoin Cash today. And honestly, it is true. All transactions of Bitcoin are processed, verified, and stored within blockchains. Now, blockchain data is, it's good and it's useful, but Bitcoin is so slow. Like when comparing it to like Visa's 150 million transactions processed per day, which is like roughly about 1,700 transactions a second, to Bitcoin's 7 transactions per second, you could really see the true pain point in Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's technology struggles with a central problem of scaling and increasing the speed of transaction verification processes. Developers essentially came up with 2 solutions for these pain points that basically created Bitcoin Cash. Now, the first one was making the amount of data that needs to be verified in each block smaller, which makes transactions faster and cheaper. And 2 was requiring making the blocks of data larger so more information could be processed. And basically, the way that Bitcoin Cash differs versus, Bitcoin, I think that we're going to get into it on this page here, but I really want to talk to you guys about it before we get there, is that Bitcoin blocks are limited to 1 megabyte, while Bitcoin Cash blocks are limited up to 32. And then Bitcoin Cash also implemented an increased block size of 8 megabytes to speed up the verification process with an adjusted level of difficulty to ensure that the chain's survival and transaction verification speed regardless of the number of miners supporting it. So, a key note here is that since 2018, the block size increased to 32 from its original 8. But the blocks continue to remain only a fraction of that. But I will say this, that Bitcoin Cash is able to process transactions much quicker than Bitcoin, which means quicker like settlement time, cheaper fees, and it can also handle many more transactions per second. But I will say this, it does have a major downside, which is security. The security could be compromised with faster transaction speeds and also larger block data, which basically Bitcoin doesn't suffer from that currently, but it is a big key component to really mention. So here are what they're good for. So Bitcoin Cash, just like Bitcoin, with small adjustments, making it the digital equivalent of cash. And then we also have Bitcoin, useful as store of value, making it the digital equivalent of gold. So essentially, they basically just told us that Bitcoin itself is gold, while Bitcoin Cash is cash. So, I mean, it's basically that simple. And then we also have Bitcoin Cash believes in the original vision for Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto, a fast, secure, worldwide peer-to-peer electronic cash system with low processing fees. So what's the difference between them two? So here's how fast it is. So with transactions taking hours or even days, Bitcoin does not meet the market demand for instant payments. We already seen this be a live stream, like a mainstream thing, not live stream, a mainstream thing with like XRP and even Hedera, where people want those instant payments now. It's a demand, especially in this market, for a lot of individuals. Now, Bitcoin Cash can do over 100 transactions per second, while Bitcoin, like I said, is kind of stuck at 3 to 7 per second, which is absolutely horrendous comparing it to most, where you see, for an example, like XRP doing like 1,500 every 3 to 5 seconds, or even Hedera doing 10,000 every 3 to 5 seconds as well. And I mean, it's just crazy. And then also, how much does it cost to send? With transaction fees fluctuating between $5 and $50, Bitcoin is impractical for casual spending and microtransactions. For example, Bitcoin Cash, 3,800 times lower in price point average to Bitcoin, where it's under 0.01 cent fee per transaction. Now, the fee per transaction on Bitcoin is $5 to $50, and it could even range higher than that on most transactions. Sorry about that. Now, that's a big pain point. I mean, that's the number one reason why XRP is as big as it is, or even Hedera, because you have like almost feeless transactions. And I think that's the main reason why Bitcoin Cash could honestly outperform Bitcoin in terms of what it's truly utilized for, which is being a cash service of Bitcoin. Now, of course, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash do both have, like incredible demand for both of them. But I will say this: Bitcoin Cash is, like they said, the equivalent of cash, while Bitcoin is gold. So take with that what you will. I still think that Bitcoin Cash has a ton of utility behind it in terms of it being utilized, not the actual utility. But nonetheless, let's continue on. So, isn't gold more valuable? So, worldwide cash market is $100 trillion, which is 10 times bigger than the gold market, which is 10 trillion. And then we also have Bitcoin was just the first step. Bitcoin Cash is the next. We believe peer-to-peer electronic cash is a useful tool towards economic freedom. Then we also have here global transaction market, 3 trillion transactions per year, which is 75% cash, 13% credit and card transactions, and then 12% is others. Even 1% of global transactions would mean 82 million transactions per day for Bitcoin Cash, which, I mean, technically we could also add in there, XRP and Hedera, because they are also going to technically be used as a cash service as well. So, the opportunity. With a cash market 10 times bigger than gold, Bitcoin Cash has a bigger upside potential. Bitcoin Cash is already doing 120% of the transaction volume that Bitcoin does, but is only valued at 1% of the current Bitcoin valuation. I'm telling you guys, we're very early still on Bitcoin Cash. So, a chance to do better. Bitcoin Cash wants to be carbon neutral and put in everyone's hands the power to create a positive impact. Again, it's greener, it's more economically, healthier than Bitcoin overall. Instead of fees, plant some trees. Bitcoin Cash is almost free to send on every checkout. You could choose to help the planet coming soon. This is actually huge. I mean, if we're really talking about something that's really good to be implemented into something like Bitcoin Cash, where everybody knows that Bitcoin uses a ton of energy, it's terrible for the environment. Having this option to plant a tree with every transaction that you use Bitcoin Cash for, that's something that's awesome, because basically, yeah, sure, Bitcoin will always be a thing, and Bitcoin Cash will technically always be a thing as well. Having the ability to do good by Bitcoin itself, aka the gold standard, by planting a tree is awesome. I think that's very cool, and I think it's very interesting as well. So what you get with Bitcoin Cash. We already know Bitcoin Cash enables instant transactions at a fraction of a cent, but it doesn't stop there. Wide adoption, accepted by over 100,000 merchants online worldwide, borderless, transact globally, peer-to-peer electronic cash, transact directly with no middleman, no need for banks, uncensorable, no account can be frozen, cannot be shut down. And then you can mint your own tokens. Tether is on Bitcoin Cash. Secure, security guaranteed by the blockchain. No KYC, skip the hurdles and bureaucracy. Wow, I'm sorry about that. Trust it, supported by PayPal and every major exchange on Earth. Yeah, you could also buy Bitcoin Cash on PayPal, just so you guys know. And then this is basically how you pretty much buy it as well. You could buy it on Coinbase, you could buy it on Binance, you could pretty much buy it on most exchanges, if not almost all of them. And then, if we come over here to Bitcoin Cash itself, this is their website, bitcoincash.org. We could actually kind of see the live price of it as well. But you can see that it's fast, reliable, low fees, secure, stable, simple, the best money in the world. Bitcoin Cash brings sound money to the world, fulfilling the original promise of Bitcoin as peer-to-peer electronic cash. Merchants and users are empowered with low fees and reliable confirmations. The future shines brightly with unrestricted growth, global adoption, permissionless innovation, and decentralized development. All are welcome to join Bitcoin Cash community as we move forward in creating sound money accessible to the whole world. And here's all the wallets. Like I said, this is everything that really supports it in terms of wallets. You could pretty much find it anywhere. You could buy this anywhere if you guys are interested in buying it. So why use Bitcoin Cash? Again, this is kind of going over what we just went over, but for the most part, there's more information here because this is from Bitcoin Cash themselves. So send money anywhere in the world almost for free. With Bitcoin Cash, you could send money to anyone, anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Like the internet itself, the network is always on. No transaction is too big or too small, and you never need anyone's permission or approval. Be your own bank and have full control over your money. The seizing of capital from account holders' bail-ins that occurred in Cyprus and nearly in Greece demonstrated that bank deposits are only as safe as political leaders decide. Even under the best of conditions, banks can make mistakes, hold funds, freeze accounts, and otherwise prevent you from accessing your own money. Now, I also want to say that most typically local banks are only insured up to $250,000, which is also a very big downside for banks, especially if you hold that much money plus. Banks can also decide to block your transactions, charge you fees, or close your account without warning. Bitcoin Cash gives you full sovereign control over your funds, which you can access from anywhere in the world. A scarce digital currency with a known fixed supply. The Bitcoin Cash protocol ensures that there will never be more than 21 million coins in existence similar to Bitcoin. Governments constantly print money out of thin air, endlessly inflating the supply and devaluing everyone's savings. Bitcoin Cash has a fixed supply and therefore represents sound money. Increase your privacy and operate anonymously. Bitcoin Cash offers more privacy and anonymity than traditional payment systems like bank transfers and credit card payments, since it's normally impossible to know who controls a Bitcoin address. Bitcoin Cash offers various levels of privacy depending on how it is used. It's important to educate yourself thoroughly before using Bitcoin Cash for privacy purposes. Enjoy exclusive discounts. Many merchants offers discounts for paying in Bitcoin Cash because it eliminates credit card fees and helps grow the adoption of this new payment system. Token ecosystem. Storing and managing tokens on a blockchain provides greater transparency and integrity than traditional forms of asset accounting and trading. Bitcoin Cash supports token protocols that power a variety of projects, and it is easy to create your own token-backed projects. Support freedom worldwide. Bitcoin Cash is permissionless, open network. It empowers you to engage with your fellow human beings without intrusion. It's decentralized, voluntary, and non-aggressive. As usage grows, old power structures will erode while fresh ideas blossom. It may help usher in the greatest peaceful revolution the world has ever known. And then we also have benefits for merchants, ultra low fees. The network fee for a typical Bitcoin Cash transaction is less than 1 penny. If you want to convert your Bitcoin Cash into fiat currency such as US dollars, you could do that through merchant processors for a cost that is still much lower than credit card processing. No chargebacks. Unlike credit cards, there are never any automatic voids, refunds, chargebacks, or other unexpected fees. Fraud protection is built into the system with no cost to the merchant. New customers. A growing number of patrons are choosing Bitcoin Cash as a preferred payment method. They favor merchants who offer this payment option and actively seek them out. Free marketing and press. By accepting Bitcoin Cash, merchants can gain free listings in website and app directories, gaining even more customers. They could also take advantage of this new trend and generate press for their business. Then we also have a history of Bitcoin Cash. In October 2018, Satoshi Nakamoto published the famous white paper entitled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. In 2019, he released the first Bitcoin software that powered the network, and it operated smoothly for several years with low fees and fast, reliable transactions. Unfortunately, from 2016 to 2017, Bitcoin became increasingly unreliable and expensive. This was because the community could not reach consensus on increasing the network capacity. Some of the developers did not understand and agree with Satoshi's plan. Instead, they preferred Bitcoin become a settlement layer. By 2017, Bitcoin dominance had plummeted from 95% to as low as 40% as a direct result of usability problems. Fortunately, a large portion of the Bitcoin community, including developers, investors, users, and businesses, still believed in the original version or a vision of Bitcoin, a low-fee, peer-to-peer electronic cash system that could be used by all the people of the world. And then on August 1st, 2017, we took the logical step of increasing the maximum block size, and Bitcoin Cash was born. Anyone who held Bitcoin at that time, block 478558, became an owner of Bitcoin Cash. The network now supports up to 32 megabytes blocks with ongoing research to allow massive future increase. And then we also have decentralized development with multiple independent teams of developers providing software implementations. The future is secure. Bitcoin Cash is resistant to political and social attacks on protocol development. No single group or project can control it. Multiple implementations also provides redundancy to ensure that the network retains 100% uptime. And then also we have the BitcoinCashResearch.org website. It is a good venue for making proposals for changes that require coordination across development teams. For those wishing to implement changes to the Bitcoin Cash protocol, it is recommended to seek early peer review and engage collaboratively with other developers. And then we also have the nodes that they list here: Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin Cash Node, Bitcoin Cash D, Flowy, the hub. I don't know what KTH is, but it is here, and then Bitcoin Verde. And then we also have services. So these are all the services that they currently are providing, obviously. So we have Purse, BitPay, Go Crypto, Coinbase, Noise Cash, Read Cash, Bitcoin Cash Games, cheapair.com. I guess this is Memo Cash, Member Cash, Blockchain Poker, Lazy Fox, Chain Tip. I mean, the names just go on and on and on. But, you can kind of see, some crazy names in here. Like, you already have Coinbase up here, BitPay, Go Crypto, Purse is, huge. I know that they are on PayPal as well, but this is just like the services that they pretty much are on. So, and then this is their projects. So, I mean, you can kind of just see everything. And then exchanges, I believe that PayPal is, so yeah, I don't think that PayPal would be considered an exchange overall. It's just kind of like a payment partnership. But that's pretty much the overall of that. You could kind of read more into here, like services, projects, exchanges, all that stuff, nodes, benefits, all that. But for the most part, I really just want to talk to you guys overall about what we're kind of seeing here. Now, I know that this is essentially this is kind of like the doomsday graph because I can't really see what happened before this. Now, this is kind of basically the start of Bitcoin Cash, but there was a little bit more trading going on back here. I seen it on, I think, the Binance chart, but for the most part, I like to use this chart from Coinbase itself because it is one of the most accurate ones, at least. But you guys could see what we're kind of doing here, where we are kind of just trading in an upward angle from the bottom here. This is kind of just like I would say a bull run kind of pattern. Now, do I believe that the prices that we are seeing right now is a good buy? Because I know that's going to be the number one question that I get asked for in my Discord or even on Twitter. Now, I will say this. It's not a bad time to average in. I think right now is a good time to get in. We did have a really good buy just recently on the dip from Bitcoin that it offered. And I think that, it's a safe point to get into it right now. I will say this. Bitcoin Cash is going to be one of my major holds definitely after this bull run, because of course a lot of my money is tied up in XRP and Hedera and stuff like that. I do hold a decent amount of Bitcoin Cash, but for the most part it's nothing like too crazy. Like I don't have over 100 of them or anything like that, but I think I hold a decent amount in terms of just like an average amount. So let's really kind of do a zoom in here and do a reverse percentage wise and see what dollar figure we came down from up here, because I don't want to do a percentage wise because we didn't really have the bottom in before we got to the top of that candle, so we don't really know an increase in price point. But I do want to know the decrease in price point to about $100 flat. So it was about almost 100% loss down into like almost like the $74 range. Now, I really want to stress the idea that 10K is my target, my exit strategy. Now this it could go anywhere between 15 to 20k as well, but I just want to stress the idea that to get to 10k overall, we're looking at about almost 1,000% increase in price, which isn't much for cryptocurrency. I mean, if we're looking at XRP doing about an 80,000% spike in price, I mean, just to really kind of give you an idea on what that would be. Now, I don't think that this is going to happen. I just want to stress the idea about that. I don't think it's possible, but an 80,000% increase in price would put us at about $700,000. Now, that's not going to happen at all. It's not going to happen this time around at all. It's probably not going to happen in the next 10 years either. But the reason why I show you that an 80% increase or an 80,000% increase in price would put us to 80 or $700,000 is because I want to stress the idea that 1,000% is nothing comparing it to an 80,000% increase in price. Now, that's not the reason why I think that it's going to go to $10,000 or even $20,000. The reason why I think that's going to go to $10,000 to $20,000 is because I think Bitcoin Cash is extremely undervalued for what it's really doing. I made a joke the other day and I tweeted out that said Bitcoin Cash is basically the real Bitcoin. And I didn't mean it as a total joke. I meant it as, Bitcoin Cash is what Bitcoin should have been originally. But what Bitcoin essentially turned into was, a digital piece of gold, essentially. And what Bitcoin Cash turned into was the cash aspect of that. So if I wanted to describe Bitcoin Cash to somebody, that was new to crypto, I would say Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin in cash form. Bitcoin itself is Bitcoin in gold form. That's the best way that I could describe it. So what I mean by that is I don't think that Bitcoin Cash is going to have $1 trillion market cap similar to Bitcoin, but I do think that it's going to gain a ton of value very, very soon. And I think that the adoption of it is going to be major as well. I just think that it's looked down upon because it is a fork of Bitcoin itself. But like I said, the numbers are there, the statistics are there, the facts are there. Bitcoin Cash is overall better than Bitcoin in scalability, in low fees, transaction settlement times. It's a solid hold for me with a price point at about $10,000. If you guys want to take profit earlier, you guys could exit at about 7 to 10 and average there. So average out at like 7 to 10 or wherever you guys feel comfortable at. But I definitely think that we're going to try to cross the all-time high by the beginning to the end of June, and we might even cross it by then. It all depends on, price point average and price action overall. But nonetheless, guys, that was my Bitcoin Cash video. I hope that you all enjoyed this, and yeah, we'll be back with a new video very soon. Thank you all for the support, and thank you all for watching. If you guys do not already subscribe to me, definitely subscribe to me. Definitely like the video. It helps overall get this channel out there. I know that we are still small and I do want to grow. I do want to help a lot more people really make money in this scene. So the more people I could help, the better. If you guys are not already in my Discord and a part of the Twitter community with me, definitely follow me on Twitter. It's in the description below, and join the Discord as well. That is in the description too. So nonetheless, guys, this has been Nick. I will talk to you later in another video. So peace out, guys.